Hey, you! What's going on at the harbor?
The orcs are breathing down our necks and you're asking about the harbor?
I only wanted to...
The biggest problem we have is that there aren't enough ships in the harbor to get us out of here. To be honest, there's only one ship here, and that belongs to the paladins. They certainly won't let us get out of here with that.
Why can't you finish your ship?
Oh, we have thousands of problems. The hull still isn't stable, and it's still missing a lot of boards. But I have hardly any gold left to buy new material with, and the last delivery had bugs in it. My boys don't work productively. One wants a fast ship above all else, the other one is worried about the figurehead. As if we didn't have more important things to do. Also, one of my people is simply not showing up for work anymore. I'm beginning to fear that this will delay the construction even more.
What's going on at the harbor?
The orcs are breathing down our necks and...
I only wanted to...
The biggest problem we have is that there aren't enough ships in the harbor to get us out of here. To be honest, there's only one ship here, and that belongs to the paladins. They certainly won't let us get out of here with that.
Is it really true? I could have told you that. Will it ever change?
Hey, you!
Ahoy, you landlubber. Looks like you're stranded here. You look a bit pale around the gills. Never mind, my lad. All you need is a good stiff sea breeze.
What are you doing here?
Back when I was a young man, I went to sea and rode through many a big storm.
Might have gone about it.
No big deal, not at all. But that old tower came closest to what I call a home. I haven't been up there in ages.
Why not?
Ever since these scallywags took over my lighthouse, I haven't dared get closer to it than 20 feet. Really bad rabble, that. They're criminals from the Valley of Mind, you know. There was this big bang on the other side of the mountains, and they swarmed all over the land like flies. Now they're hiding out everywhere, even in my lighthouse. I think they're on the lookout for any ship they can raid. Ah, let them. Then at least they'd be out of my tower.
Do you come to town often?
I always say, a town is only as good as its harbor. A harbor is the gate to the world. That's where everyone meets, and where everything starts. Once the harbor goes to the dogs, the rest of the city will follow soon.
He never would have thought of that himself.
Tell me about the harbor.
The harbor of Corinus isn't what it used to be. There's nothing but riffraff hanging about. The ships don't come anymore, and trade is dead. This harbor's about to go under.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So why don't you leave?
Nobody would take an old sea dog like me on his ship these days. Most people think that old Jack's got the gout in his rotten old bones.
And, are they right?
Balderdash. Once I've got those planks beneath me feet again, I'll feel like a young whippersnapper.
What do you mean by riffraff?
Look at them, the lazy rabble. Most of them don't even know what work is. All they do is drink all day and spend their last pay at the brothel. I tell you, stay away from them.
Why are the ships no longer coming?
They all say that once the war is over, everything will be like it used to be. That's a load of bilge water. I tell you, a sailor can see when a town's going downhill. A sailor feels that in his blood, and I can tell you, forget about this harbor. Its heyday's over.
You have to feel sorry for the poor guy. There's nothing you can do about it.
And he works all day too.
Now, NPCs that don't have any names, that they have just generic names like citizen, they don't have any important dialogue, just something generic. But let's check it out.
What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the population of Corinus keeps shrinking. You have to fear for your life when you hear that so many have already gone missing.
What interesting things are there to see here?
There are all kinds of goods on display in the marketplace.
Who are the important figures in this town?
The paladins hold the upper quarter.
I want to become a citizen of this town.
Will you help us defend the city against the orcs? If you're a citizen of Khorinis, you can join the militia. You should talk to one of the city guards.
Who are the important figures in this town?
The paladins hold the upper quarter.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the harbor district. Where do you want to go?
Where's the barracks?
Walking up the harbor road from the quay wall will take you to the lower part of town. Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square. Coming from the temple, if you pass the tavern on the left, you'll come out at the gallows square. The huge building is the barracks. Just walk up the stairs.
How do I get to the gallows square?
Walking up the harbor road from the quay wall will take you to the lower part of town. Coming.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
So yeah, they have directions for many parts of the town, which is really cool.
That's what I've always said.
What's new?
Everyone has been worried lately. It's not enough that the paladins have made themselves at home here. Now people are constantly disappearing in the strangest fashion. It's about time the militia finally did something about it.
But that's terrible.
What interesting things are there to see here?
The big ship that the paladins came in is in the harbor. It's an enormous boat. You have to take a look at it. But I can't imagine that they'll let you on board. The paladins guard the ship like the crown jewels. No wonder. It's the only seaworthy vessel anchored anywhere, far and wide.
But that's terrible.
Who are the most important citizens in this town?
Besides the paladins, the master craftsmen in the lower part of town,
Better shut up.
they're all very important.
I want to tell her.
I want to become a citizen of this town.
And why are you telling me that? Go to one of the master craftsmen in the lower part of the city. Maybe if you're lucky, one of them is looking for an apprentice. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the governor and have yourself registered as a citizen. But right now, you can forget that. The governor isn't in charge anymore since the paladins came. And their leader, Lord Hagen, is guaranteed not to have time for things like that.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes,
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the harbor district. Where do you want to go?
really, how interesting.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
That's not what I heard. You don't say.
You look a little worse for wear. Haven't slept in a long time, have you?
Too long, I should say.
Come on, step closer. With me, you'll find what you're looking for.
You said that you've got what I need. Does that include information?
But of course, what is it you want to know?
Now that's typical, isn't it?
Are there any other traders here at the harbor?
If you keep to the left at the quay, you'll find Helvor, my husband. He sells fish. On the other side, there's Brahim, the cartographer.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Do you know anyone from the upper quarter?
And he wants to
If I knew anyone up there, I wouldn't be standing here, my boy.
Tell this to anyone.
What interesting things are there to see around the harbor?
Well, if you're looking for some action, you can go down to Cardiff's Inn at the quay. There's always something brewing there. You can hardly miss it. The guy standing by the entrance there will certainly draw your attention to it. Besides that, there's the large ship of the Paladins, the King's stately war galley. That one's really worth seeing. You'll find it if you keep left at the quay and then pass under the high rock face.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
You could say so. It wasn't that long ago.
He can't keep
A thief ran by here. He must have stolen a bow in the lower part of the city. Of course, the militia came here way too late, like always.
talks too much.
He got away from them, just jumped into the harbor, and he was gone.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
There's a reason why she mentions thief with a bow. We'll find out that
Now that's
soon.
typical, isn't it? Now that's typical, isn't it?
What do you want?
I wanted to have a look around here.
And where exactly are you headed?
What interesting things are there to see here?
There's a cat house here and a tavern. The landlord's name is Cardiff. If it's information you want, he'll be the right person to talk to. Do you, need money, by the way?
Are you giving it away?
No, but right across the street here is the house of Lamar, the moneylender. I'm sure he'll give you a few gold pieces. Just go ahead.
These are bad times.
Actually, I was on my way to the upper quarter.
Yeah, right. And I was about to board a ship and have it take me to the king for an audience. People like you and me haven't been allowed in the upper quarter since the paladins came.
He works all day, too.
Are you a citizen of this town?
If you mean do I live here, yeah. But still they won't let me into the upper quarter. Only the tops can get in there, or the merchants and craftsmen from the lower end of town. The people from the harbor district don't carry much weight in Corinthus. There isn't even a regular militia patrol down here.
That's what I've always said.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago,
These are bad times.
the city guards turned the entire harbor district upside down. They were searching for stolen property. There've been plenty of thefts here lately, especially in the better quarters. They're obviously trying to blame the poor suckers at the harbor for everything.
I can't take care of everything for everybody. If I hadn't,
Honestly.
Now, if you skip Lothar and go to Laris, you're gonna get 500 experience. After that, you can go back to the gate guard, show him the plants, and get additional 100. But I'm not gonna do that, because I don't really care.
Halt, stranger. I didn't see you come through this gate.
And?
And the guards on the other gate have orders not to let any unknown persons into the city.
Well...
I shall have to have a word with those two. But now for us two. I am Lothar, paladin of the king and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
That was obvious all along.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone.
I never knew that.
Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
I'd have gone about it differently.
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons, I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
I'm no better off myself.
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
The Sacred Eye of Innos? How do you know about that? You're not a member of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But...
I don't want to hear any more about it. First you start with fairy tales about dragons, and then this. Incredible.
Get that from me.
That was obvious all along.
Now, let me tell you actually show you the original plan for Paladin armor.
I've got my own opinion about that.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So I did mention Gothic sequel before, and this is how Paladins were supposed to look.
It can't go on like this forever.
Is it really true?
Compared to what they look now.
You didn't get that from me.
That was the original Paladin idea.
Is it really true?
All right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
No.
First,
he insisted he knew better.
The Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the paladins. Only the paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
There's nothing you can
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
I'm not touching that.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Corinus. If you were thinking about looking for work in the harbor district, forget it. The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
He simply talks too much.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia. You're not even a citizen. How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin, you have a long road ahead of you, my boy.
It can't go on like this.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
I can't believe that.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks.
Don't say
The paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city.
Who says
The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
I knew that would be a problem.
I've got to go.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
I've got my own opinion about that.
These are bad times.
Now, I did forget to show one trick, how to get into the town, but you can use this trick anywhere.
Halt! Only the citizens of the town and the king's troops can get into the upper end of the town.
And it's also a glitch, so all you have to do is just strafe.
This is gonna change.
And don't let go. Just like this. Once you're far enough, you can just quit the dialogue, and that's it. You can use this trick anywhere, on any guard.
Halt! Only the citizens of the town and the king's troops can get into the upper end of the town.
Couldn't we make an exception?
What? There are rules in this town. Rules that apply to everyone without exception. If we let you break those rules, it would be unfair towards all those who obey them.
I'm a respected citizen of Corinus. Let me pass.
You are the dirt under my fingernails. Make yourself scarce.
Don't tell this to anyone.
I can't believe that.
He had better shut.
Sir? What are you doing? Should I interrupt him?
That's what I always say.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
After what I saw? Yeah, sure.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
Guys, don't worry. The rain washed his hands, okay?
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah. I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Matteo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Where can I find Matteo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Matteo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Boser has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Tell me more about the peasants' revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries! The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony, and their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Show me your wares.
I'm not telling you anything new.
That was quite obvious.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather. Still unused. Interested?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
Oh man, forget it.
That's typical of those beggars. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
You shark.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorban, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
One thing at a time. First fulfill your part of the deal and bring me the gold.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harad the smith, Boser the bowmaker, Thorban the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Show me your wares.
The armor that he's selling, I can buy it or get it using specific methods. Which I'll show you in a second. He mentioned that his storeroom was confiscated. And this is his storeroom.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
However, the storeroom doesn't have a roof.
I never knew that.
So by doing some parkour stuff, we can get in. The guard doesn't even care. And this is the armor that Matteo sells.
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
How's the situation?
At the moment, it's quiet. Only the bandits outside the city are causing us problems.
What do you know about the bandits?
They've all come from that blasted mining colony. But there are several splinter groups. Some are holed up in the mountains, and others have joined up with Ona, the landowner. But it's the bandits outside of town who cause the most problems. They're the reason that none of the merchants venture beyond the city gates now.
Where did the bandits who had my wanted poster come from?
We picked them up near the landowner's place, but they didn't look like Onar's people. I think they're part of a smaller group which is holed up in the mountains near Onar's farm. But if you intend to go there, let me warn you, those cutthroats make short work of everyone.
I'll remember that.
You can also climb on this house. And then from here, jump on that house to get to the storeroom.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
You hardly know who to believe.
Or die like that. But it's possible. Now, this is the lady that owes money to the Matteo. Before I talk to her, I want to get something.
What led you into this poor area? What are you looking for here?
I'm just looking around a bit.
Ha! Then you better not be caught looking around. It would seem that we have a few thieves in the city who would steal stuff from the rich people. The city guard recently turned the harbor district upside down, but they didn't find anything.
What do you know about the thieves?
Nothing. But all the citizens are scared and have become distrustful, particularly towards strangers. Don't get caught in strange houses. No one takes kindly to that. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself against thieves. A sturdy cudgel works best.
Can you teach me anything?
I'm forging a few fittings and nails and repairing iron parts. But I don't know enough about forging weapons to be able to instruct you. And if you want to learn that, go see Harad. He sure knows how to forge weapons. But if you want to train your muscles a bit, I can help you with that.
How much do you charge for the training?
50 gold pieces, and I'll help you to become stronger.
Ah, you've come just in time. I'm in need of an assistant for a magic experiment. I'm sure you're eager to do me a favor for science's sake.
Easy, my friend. First tell me what this is all about.
I have developed a new spell, a spell of oblivion. I've already successfully carried out a few practical applications, but I don't have time to conduct one final test.
What's in it for me if I help you?
I could teach you how to brew potions. I know the recipes for healing and mana essences, and for potions of great speed.
Tell me more about the experiment and the spell.
The spell serves to make somebody forget various events. So far, I have only found it to work when the person in question is angry, for instance. If he has been knocked down or robbed. Even if he has only witnessed such a deed, he will scratch it from his memory.
So I'm supposed to knock somebody down and then put a spell on him?
Yes, I think you get the point. But to make somebody angry, it is enough to attack him. You don't have to knock him down. So you should pick somebody who's by himself. If there are other people around, you'll just get into trouble with Lord Andre. Also, it makes no sense to cast the spell on someone who's busy attacking you. Wait for the right moment.
All right, I'll try out that spell.
Then take this spell scroll and find yourself a suitable guinea pig. Once you're done, come back and tell me how it went.
About the experiment.
Have you been successful then? Or have you just wasted the spell scroll? Huh? If you need more spell scrolls, you can buy them from me.
Show me your wares.
He also has transformation spell scrolls. Some of them are really powerful and can be good in some situations. There's a sleep scroll, Oblivion, the one that he wants us to use. So the scrolls in the game have low mana usage, but they're also consumable. You can only use them once.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorban.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Can you sell me some lockpicks?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work. But I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so? What do you know about the paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the peasants' rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see. How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Not yet.
Then I don't know why you're asking me again. You know my terms.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorban.
And the human slew the beast, and it entered into Belial.
How's it going?
Same as always, but I don't want to complain.
She doesn't want to complain, but now...
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet, and times are getting even rougher. One sees it everywhere. People must scrimp and save. It's been weeks since the last ship came to town. My husband was the captain of a merchant ship. Actually, he even owned the ship. From his long journeys, he always brought me presents. Exquisite fabrics from the mainland, precious spices from the southern countries. Most people haven't even heard of these things. But then, one day, I got the tidings that the Gritta had sunk. That was the name of the ship. My husband called it that out of love for me. I wept and prayed that my husband had survived the disaster. Every day I hoped to hear from him, but all my longing was in vain. May Innes have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. Since that time, I have been living under these modest circumstances. And now this soulless, callous Matteo is after the last bit of my life savings. Please have mercy on a poor woman. Back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we're even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such...
And now she's just repeating the stuff.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
So, depending on the playthrough, sometimes I like to pay, sometimes I just like to take stuff. It all depends on the roleplay. But now...
Fork over the dough, or I'll slug you one.
You're nothing but a common thug. Go ahead, draw your weapon, and I'll call the guards.
So, one cool thing I want to show is that you can just get in, not even talk to her. Take the gold. And since I got the Oblivion spell,
oh man, my head.
I can make her forget.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta.
So she has no idea I already took the gold.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you let me...
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout. All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house?
That way, you can get 200 gold out of her. Which is another reason why I love this game. Before I do this or continue the game this way, I just want to show what happens if you...
What do you...
If you pay.
But...
I'm gonna pay the sum for you.
You would do that for me? Oh, I knew you weren't a greedy bastard like that Matteo.
Yeah, never mind.
Come back once you've taken care of that. I want to show you my gratitude.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
You want to pay for her? I'd have preferred it if you'd squeezed it out of her. Still, 100 gold pieces is 100 gold pieces. You've held up your part of the deal.
I agree with you completely.
You really didn't deserve that.
That doesn't surprise me.
It was very noble of you to pay for me. I want to show you my gratitude. Here's a bottle of wine which my husband, may Innos rest his soul, brought back from the southern islands. Also, I'm going to spread the news around. At last there's somebody in town whose virtue...
Yeah, never mind.
So she just gives you regular wine. So, by getting 200 gold from her...
Hey, you!
I can talk to this guy.
Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Matteo can get his money later.
Here's your gold.
Thanks. Now I have at least part of the money I owe Lamar. I can't believe she had the audacity to take my gold.
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Not yet.
Then I don't know why you're asking me again.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have brought me the 100 gold pieces. That is very decent of you. I am almost embarrassed, but I must ask even more of you. If I cannot pay back my debt to Lamar soon, he's going to send his thugs after me. Give me another 100 gold pieces, and I shall instruct you.
There's another person that can teach me lockpicking, but sure. I'll give him 100.
Fine. Here are 100 gold pieces.
In that case, we can start whenever you're ready.
It's basically all the gold that I got from his niece.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion. I'm no better off myself.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Basper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinus?
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
So I noticed.
I'm no better off myself.
I've heard a thing or two.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
It's not what I heard.
Now, one more thing you may want to know when you talk to traders is that you may want to save before talking to them, before asking them to show you their inventory. Because when they show you their inventory,
show me your wares.
They're gonna show you their strongest weapons. When you close it, after some time, they might equip that strongest weapon. And if they equip it, you won't be able to buy it.
It can't go on like this forever.
Show me.
I can't believe that.
Until they get something even stronger, and then equip that.
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
I'm not sure if that got fixed by community in the later patches, but I know that was the case before.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
He doesn't see that.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like.
It was just like you said.
What if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harad and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the Alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorban, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well, too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
You didn't get that from me.
And he works all day, too.
Get that from me.
Learning how to take skins is always good, so I'm gonna learn that.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
Now you can try to save up those 5 learning points, go around the game, loot some hunter houses or huts or tents for the wolf skins, but I usually learn this and do it faster like that.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
That's not what I heard.
Will I get your approval to sign up with a different master?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows, maybe you'll end up liking it, and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
About the wolf skins.
We had agreed on half a dozen, but you've still got time. Go and get those skins.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway, but you won't be officially admitted.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Boser the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Boser right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Has anything exciting happened?
Oh well, all's quiet. I suppose that when the orcs come, we can't fail to notice. That's been known a long time.
Hey, new in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harad's apprentice.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harad. He is a good master. I've learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harad. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorban the carpenter, Boser the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about Master Harad.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Before I talk to this guy, let's finish the Oblivion quest.
I used the spell scroll.
Fine, fine. And were you successful?
Yes, it worked.
Excellent. One small success for science, but a big one for me. Now, I can use my time to instruct you in the arts of alchemy. I could also give you some useful things if you want.
Instruct me in the art of alchemy.
To prepare a potion at the alchemist's bench, you need a laboratory flask, and you're going to need different plants or other ingredients for each potion.
Show me your wares.
Now, one quick thing I want to mention.
He'd better shut up.
Is about the damage calculation. So, if you remember the calculation, this is the one. I said that you always deal at least 5 damage.
It's better to watch out who you tell.
Well, that's not always the case, because some NPCs are essential, and some of them just do not take any damage. The game doesn't want you to kill them.
Will it ever change?
And Laris is one of them.
You regret.
Not bad.
Don't you ever dare attack me again.
But most of the enemies, no matter how tough they are, what level they are, they take at least 5 damage from you.
Hey! Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean Do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
If you want to earn some extra money, you don't want to choose this dialogue yet. And I'll show you why right away. There is merchant here to the left.
But the light was a torment for Belial.
So let's talk to him.
Hey, you!
I am Hacker, the weapons dealer. Every man should carry a weapon these days, especially when venturing outside of the city walls.
Tell me more about the area around the city.
It's gotten too dangerous out there, because of the bandits for one thing, and also on account of wild beasts. Even the animals don't seem to get enough to eat in these crappy times. They're venturing closer to the city all the time.
You don't say.
Do you know anything about the paladins?
Yes. Those guys are ruining my business. All you can buy in this entire town is a short sword at most. They've helped themselves to anything that's longer than a foot and a half. In return, I now get to live in the hotel free of charge.
That's an open secret.
Where do you get your weapons from?
Harad, the smith, has been my supplier up to now. Now all he does is make stuff for the paladins. He works for those guys day and night like a madman, without pay. He thinks it's his duty. All I can offer you now is my remaining stock.
That's what I've always said.
What do you know about the disappearances of the citizens of Corinus?
I have seen many pass through the eastern city gate. Some of those who came I had never seen before in my life. And many of those who went out never came back. But what happened the other day was really quite strange. There was this fellow who came here. I think his name is Joe.
I don't believe that.
He bragged that he would soon come into some serious money. He claimed that he knew how to get into one of the city towers where the militia keep their arms. I haven't seen him since, even though I used to bump into him around the same time every day. I reported this to the militia. I thought that maybe he had been caught and thrown into the dungeon. But Lord Andre had no idea what I was talking about. He didn't even know the fella.
What do you know about the bandits?
What do I know about them? They robbed me on my way to the city, and I'm not the only one. They've been up to their tricks for quite a while. The militia tried to track them down, but without any success.
Do you know who in the militia took part in the search?
The fellow's name is Pablo. He and a few others went looking for the bandits, but they didn't find them.
Do you know where I can find Pablo?
He patrols around the city. You'll find him either at the Temple Square or in the lower part of town.
Where did they hold you up?
Near Akil's farm. Just go out of the city gate from here. Follow the road to the right. After a while, you'll get to a few steps. The bastards came from there. I bet they have their hideout back there in the woods.
I'll deal with it.
What? You want to take on the bandits? By yourself? You're quite a good fighter, huh?
How much is the matter worth to you?
That's a dangerous business. Well, it's all right with me. I'll pay you 100 gold pieces if you defeat the bandits.
So it's not much, but the blacksmith can send you to this guy. to defeat the bandits and promise you a reward. And if blacksmith promises you the reward, then this guy won't pay you 100 gold coins. But if you get him to promise you the gold, then you can go back to the merchant, to the blacksmith, and talk to him about the bandits.
And
you will still get the gold.
Enos to leave a part of his power in his realm so that he might restore it to the human if the beast should return.
What do you want?
Let's talk again about that orc thing.
What?
An orc is a damn tough opponent.
Looking at you, you might be right. You don't have much meat on your bones. But that can change. Nevertheless, you have to prove to me that you have the courage to fight.
So, couldn't it be something slightly smaller?
Hakon, the weapons dealer in the marketplace, told me that he was attacked by bandits a few days ago. The bastards are said to be roaming around somewhere outside the East Gate. Those cowardly rogues shouldn't be terribly bright. Hunt the bastards down, every single one of them. Then I'll know that we can use you here in the city.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
And the sea released the land, and there arose all creatures, trees, and...
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you gonna sign up?
I want to sign up with you as an apprentice.
With me? No! I have already had the dubious pleasure once of grappling with an apprentice. That's quite enough for me. I invested several years in his education, and in the end, the poor fool up and poisoned himself. Go sign up with one of the other masters.
What will I have to do to become your apprentice?
I couldn't bear yet another dilettante on my conscience. There is a multitude of herbs out there. Used in different variations, they develop the most diverse effects. You probably don't even know half of them. Here. This is a list of the most important plants. Bring me a plant of each kind, and I might reconsider taking you in as an apprentice.
About the plants.
If you cannot handle that by yourself, you won't be any good as an alchemist either.
I see. I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval? As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
I'm in need of healing.
Why? Are you injured?
Yes.
There's barely a scratch on you, and I have more important things to do than to talk to you.
Show me your wares.
Let's see the list he gave us.
Into Beliar's realm.
So that's all he wants for his quest, but it's not necessary. He always gives his approval.
What do you know about the bandits who robbed Hakon the merchant?
Oh, that matter. Don't remind me. As far as we know, they're responsible for a lot of the attacks on merchants. Those rats have crawled into their holes and don't dare come out again. Once we were able to track them down and follow them, but we broke off pursuit in the woods outside the city. There's too many beasts roaming around there. It's much too dangerous. But there's one more thing. A few of the stolen goods have shown up in Corinus.
This means that they know how they can smuggle the wares into town and sell them.
Yeah, we suspect they have a fence in the city, but we haven't been able to catch the guy yet. If you find out anything about the business, remember Lord Andre has posted a bounty for the fence.
But the light was a torment for Beliar. All that Innos created was destroyed by Beliar. Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Let's read the letter. So by doing this, we broke the seal.
Adanos saw that this way.
And now...
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Yes, but it's been opened. I hope it didn't fall into the wrong hands. Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I took it from some bandits.
By Adonis, that's not good. That's not good at all. If what you say is true, we've got a huge problem. I shall have to take care of it as soon as possible.
Now because of that, Cavalorn will be mad. So, let's be honest, citizen.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do...
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point. Whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Now, he wants us to be honest.
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardas, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that Dragons have come to conquer the country, and you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
You also need to tell him the truth if you want his blessing.
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that, the great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Khorinis these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Khorinis is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However...
Yes?
You should take your message to the paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that. About those missing people.
Yes?
Where should I start looking for them?
Most of those people disappeared down by the harbor. That's probably where you should search.
Let me tell you what I know.
What have you found out?
Nothing important so far. Tell me about the Ring of Water.
Since you are not yet a member of our community, I cannot tell you everything, of course. But I shall tell you what I may.
Who are the members of the Ring of Water, then?
I cannot tell you that until you join the ring. But you will certainly have met some of them by that time.
Where are the other water mages?
They are exploring the ruins of an old culture northeast of Khorinis. We suspect that those ruins might contain a passage to a part of the island which is as yet uncharted.
Tell me more about that uncharted area.
If you're interested in joining the expedition, I could send you to Vatras with a letter. You can only participate, of course, as long as you're one of us.
Of course. What exactly is it that you do?
We stand between the Order of Innos and the chaos of Beliar. If one of the two sides should gain the upper hand, it will mean either total loss of freedom or deadly chaos. Therefore, we guard the balance between the two. That's what makes life in this world possible for all.
And what does that mean in concrete terms?
The fall of the barrier has evoked numerous threats. The bandits are probably the most obvious one. Not only has it become all but impossible to travel the island without being attacked, there's someone in town, too, who supports the bandits. We have found out that the bandits receive regular deliveries from a weapons merchant in Corinus. We try to find such people and keep them from endangering the city. If you can find out anything about this, let me know.
About this weapons dealer? How much do you know about the weapons dealer?
Ask Martin, the provisions master of the Paladins, about this. He should be able to tell you more. He has been tasked with unmasking the weapons dealer. You can find Martin in the Harbor District. If you see a heap of crates, provision, and paladins, Martin won't be far.
Is there anything that could help me with my search?
You're very persistent, young man. But I actually can think of something that could make your tasks easier for you. I shall give you this ore amulet. You'll certainly be able to use it. It is an amulet of the searching will-o'-the-wisps. There are only very few of them. The will-o'-the-wisp that inhabits this amulet has very special properties. It can help you find things that normally elude the naked eye. You summon it by simply wearing the amulet. If it loses its power, or you cannot find it, simply put on the amulet again and it will reappear. The will-o'-the-wisp can detect weapons. It could be very helpful to you in investigating the weapons deliveries to the bandits. Treat it well, and it will never fail you.
A will-o'-the-wisp in an amulet?
Will-o'-the-wisps are admirable creatures. They consist of pure magical energy. They are bound to the magical ore in this world. It is their origin. It gives them their strength. I'm not surprised that you've never heard of them. They only appear to the person who bears the ore to which they belong. Will-o'-the-wisps living in the wild have been forcefully removed from their sources. They will attack anyone who approaches them. There is no way to help those pitiful creatures. You had better stay away from them.
Can the will-o'-the-wisp do more than that?
More than look for close combat weapons? Not unless you teach it. I think Riordian knows how to teach these beings. He is one of us, currently traveling with Vatras. Perhaps he can tell you more.
Thank you. I shall take good care of it.
Now, there's a hidden mechanic when it comes to old stone tablets and Vatras. So basically, if you hoard the old stone tablets and you give them to him all at once, he will increase your maximum mana for each stone tablet you give him, with the minimum amount of 10. If you give him less than 10, he will just give you consumables. So for now, I'm just gonna avoid this dialogue. And there are 28 old stone tablets in the game in total.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
Where can I find a priest of Innos?
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of the monastery there.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
Tell me about Beliar.
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is an eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Innos and Beliar. He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Tell me about Innos.
Very well. Innos is the first and highest god. He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
Can you heal me?
You do not require healing magic at this time.
I want to increase my magic powers.
So 5 mana is 5 learning points.
Wait, if you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
Let's listen to his story.
Adanos saw that this way, nothing could exist at all. No light and no darkness. And so he set himself between his brothers in order to reconcile their dispute, and he did not succeed. But there, where Adanos stood, was a place in which Innos and Beliar had no power. And in this place, order and chaos were equal, and so the sea was created. And the sea released the land, and there arose all creatures, trees as well as animals, wolves as well as sheep, and last of all arose the human. And Adanos was pleased with what had arisen, and he delighted in all the beings equally. But so great was the wrath of Beliar that he came across the land and chose the beast. And Beliar spoke to it, and the beast became his subject. And Beliar gave unto it a portion of his divine power, so that it might destroy the land. But Innos beheld what Beliar had done, and he also bestrode the land and chose the human. And Innos spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Innos gave unto him a portion of his divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar. And Beliar spoke to another creature, but Adanos brought forth the tide, and the creature was washed from the face of the earth. But with it, the trees and animals were also washed away, and a deep sadness overcame Adanos. And thus spake Adanos to his brothers, "Never again shall you walk upon my land, for it is sacred, and so shall it be." But the human and the beast waged war upon the land of Adanos, and the wrath of the gods was with them. And the human slew the beast, and it entered into Beliar's realm. Adanos saw that order and chaos were now unequal, and he bade Enos to take his divine power from the human. And Enos, in his wisdom, did so. But Adanos feared for the day in which the beast would return to the land. And so he bade Enos to leave a part of his power in his realm so that he might restore it to the human if the beast should return. And Enos, in his wisdom, did so. But the light was a torment for Beliar. All that Enos created was destroyed by Beliar.
Okay, that should be all of his dialogue. Now, there is also one quest that requires old stone tablets, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep all of them for Vatras.
Don't tell this to anyone. That's not what I heard.
Harad told me about the attack by bandits.
Oh? And?
He'll give me his approval to be accepted as an apprentice if I hunt down the bandits.
How interesting.
Good old Harad.
Really?
That must be his way of saying he's sorry that he can't produce any weapons for me at the moment.
Show me your wares.
So yeah, if you want this axe, you may want to buy it right away, because he's gonna equip it.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
Now, there's a leather belt and militia belt here. If you read all the way down below, it says, together with leather armor. It gives you +5 protection. So if you combine the leather belt with the leather armor that I currently have, you will get some extra protection. The same goes for militia belt, if you combine it with militia armor.
He'd better shut up. He simply talks to you.
Let's check the will of the wisp.
That's not what I heard. I can't take care of
Just follow me.
Who says things like that?
Find me something.
Really?
Get me anything you can find.
He'd better shut up. That's an open secret. Don't say. Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
So he found something inside the door.
Wait a minute.
And it's gonna get even
Just
worse.
But we can't go in yet.
That's typical, isn't it? I won't tell her a thing from now. You don't say.
Now, before I talk to this guy,
That's terrible. Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Hey, not so fast. Strolling about alone out here is dangerous. Where do you come from?
from one of the farms.
A farmer, eh? Then you shouldn't be walking along these dangerous paths all by yourself. Who knows who might be lying in wait for you?
What's so dangerous out here?
Many things. I bet you'll be yelling for my help after the next bend in the road.
Just assuming I would fall back on your help. How much would that cost me?
I am merely a humble servant of the king, and would not enjoy fleecing a helpless little citizen of the realm. But you know, if you put it like that, I wouldn't object to a little financial backing to promote our future business relationship. 10 gold coins should do for starters. What do you think?
Why not? Here's your 10 coins.
Terrific. If you need my help, you know where to find me. But please do me a favor. Don't come to me with any trifles. I can't stand that, you hear?
So out here, there isn't any plant, right? However...
Halt!
What?
Just wanted to have a look at you. Oh well, you seem to have some money. Go on in.
Once I talk to this guy...
I'm Zurus, master of potions. Do you need an essence of healing or a magic elixir? Then you've come to the right place.
He simply talks too much.
Do you brew your own potions?
No, I either get them from the monastery or I buy them from Constantino, the alchemist. If you're interested in brewing potions, then talk to him. He needs an assistant, but he's too pig-headed to hire someone himself. He's just as stubborn as a mule. He always passes me when he goes out on the East Gate to collect plants for his potions.
Where exactly does Constantino gather his herbs?
He always goes through the eastern city gate here and then disappears into the wilderness to the left. He once told me that just about everything grows there, except for King Sorrel.
Has Constantino ever told you where to find King Sorrel?
I once heard him say that the stuff grows near stone circles. Near Lobart's farm. That's a farm near the other gate. There's one of those stone circles. I think it's on a hill. It used to be a grave or something.
You don't say.
I was there before, but there was no King Sorrel there. Now that I asked him about plants, and where does Constantino get his?
Nothing to be had there.
This dragon root. This thing isn't here. Until you ask Zurus. So, once again, let's check this location. This is where I'm at. Gonna quickly do it. So yeah, there it is. Nothing here.
Halt!
He had better shut up. That's an open secret.
Now that's
I'm sorry.
everybody knows by now.
That's typical, isn't it?
He
Bad times.
These are bad times. He can't keep anything to himself.
You don't say. That's an open secret.
And now? There is dragon root here. And that's not the only plant that spawns like that.
All day too.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
What do you want
outta here.
Go. See?
Yeah, get
that
out.
wasn't so hard.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
Who says things like that?
See? That wasn't so hard.
And it's gonna get even worse.
He'd better
One more thing. Listen, kid. I've got important things to do right now. We'll talk again later, got it?
He can't keep anything to himself.
Now I need
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
to get this guy's blessing.
Keep anything to himself.
It doesn't have to be him. It needs to be a priest of fire. There is another fire guy that way that I can go to and get his blessing. But I'll get this guy's blessing. Now, if you have too much gold on you, he will search your pockets. And the more gold you have, the more he will take. He won't take everything, but he will take portion of your gold. So I like to drop gold here.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Show me.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Let's see, 15 gold.
What can I do for you? Are you seeking spiritual comfort? Do you want to direct a prayer to our Lord Enos? Or donate some gold for his church?
That's not what my husband thinks.
But that's terrible.
So, how much does a donation usually run to here?
Well, that depends on what percentage you want to give, son. Let me see how much you brought. Well, you don't have much, but neither are you poor. 10 gold pieces for Enos. We live modestly. I bless you in the name of Enos, for he is light and righteousness.
So there it is.
Talks too much.
Everybody knows by now.
That's an open secret.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
That's not what I heard.
I've come to get your blessing.
That's good. That's good. Then you will probably want to donate gold to the Holy Church of Innos, won't you?
Actually, I wanted your blessing so I can sign on as an apprentice in the lower part of town.
But I have already given you my blessing, my son. Go with Innos, my son.
Where do you come from?
I come from the monastery of the magicians, which lies in the mountains. We accept everyone there who is pure of heart and feels the desire to serve our almighty Lord Innos.
Everybody knows by now.
I need to talk to the paladins. Can you help me get to them?
Well, you need access to the upper end of town. However, this is allowed only to citizens and the city guard. And of course, to us, magicians of fire.
How can I become a fire magician?
You must join our order as a novice. When you have served for a time, perhaps you will be accepted into the ranks of the magicians. However, the path to acceptance is long and full of work and study.
And he works all day, too.
Tell me about Innos.
Innos, our almighty Lord, is the light and the fire. He chooses humans to be his tool, giving them magic and laws. We act in his name. We administer justice according to his will and preach his word.
Tell me more about the monastery.
We instruct our students in all forms of magic, but the arts of the magicians of fire consist of more than these alone. We are also well versed in the art of alchemy and in the creation of powerful runes. We also make excellent wine.
Don't tell this to anyone. Don't tell me that.
What are you doing in town?
I have discussions with the paladins and support the citizens with my advice and with helpful words. Particularly in these difficult times, it is our duty to be there for the people and to help the poor.
Who says things like that?
To get even worse. And he works all day too.
I can't take care of everybody.
Terrible. That's not what my husband thinks.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
How's business?
When the paladins came, I first thought that it was a good business opportunity, but they let Harad make their weapons, and neither Hakon nor I make even one gold piece off them. Moreover, the farmers no longer supply us with food, and all the prices have gone up. It's only a small consolation that the paladins are paying my hotel bill. He simply talks too much.
What's the problem with the farmers?
They refuse to deliver their goods. Now that the ships no longer come in, the city depends entirely on the supplies provided by the farmers, of course. An owner, the largest farmer, has hired mercenaries to protect his farm from the city guards. Otherwise, they'd simply snatch the goods for themselves. But the mercenaries don't just guard Onar's farm. They come as far as the small farms outside of town to intimidate the farmers. I saw them as I was passing Akil's farm. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes now.
Where will I find Akil's farm?
If you go out of the east gate here and follow the road to the right, you'll come to a stairway. It leads up to Akil's farm. But I wouldn't go there now. The mercenaries are certainly still there.
These are bad to believe.
Show me your wares.
Who says things like that?
What my husband thinks. That's an open secret.
That's an open secret.
Someone's got to do the work. Now that's typical, isn't it?
Now there's Canthar, the guy who gave me pass
Don't tell this to anyone.
and told him I was gonna owe him a favor later. Now I'm gonna avoid him for now, because he will ask a favor of me if I get close to him.
He better shut up.
How's it going?
You're not from around here, are you? Never mind. Neither am I.
Where did you hang around before?
In the woods, hunting scavengers and wolves, together with some hunters. But I gave it up. These are dangerous times. There's a lot of riffraff running around out there.
That's what I don't tell this to anyone.
Where can I find the other hunters?
We had our camp outside near the tavern halfway to Onar's farm, but I don't know whether there's anyone left in the camp now. There used to be 2 of us here in town until a few days ago. My friend Trokar is an excellent hunter.
And it's gonna get even worse.
Like that.
Boser said you used to work for him.
Yes, I did, but he was only interested in his blasted hides. I told him how dangerous it's gotten out there. He didn't really listen to me. Well, anyway, he paid well. Can't complain about that.
Can you tell me anything else about him?
Boser had one of his bows stolen recently in broad daylight. Some guy just waltzed into his store, took a bow, and left. The thieves are getting more and more brazen.
You don't say.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
I can teach you how to sneak properly and how to handle a bow.
That's not what I heard.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Someone's got to.
So, where is your friend Trokar now?
Well, it's a curious story. Only a few days ago, we were both standing at the bar in Corrigan's tavern, discussing the hunt.
Don't tell me that.
Don't ask me what happened next. I had had a few by then. I vaguely remember Trokar saying that he was going out to get a few swamp weed reefers. He never came back.
You don't say.
Where does one get swamp weed reefers?
Somewhere down at the harbor, as far as I know.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Didn't you go looking for him?
No, but I reported it to the militia. But they haven't been able to find him yet. I hope he didn't get attacked by a wolf, or worse. I'm afraid that I'll stumble over his body someday when I'm out hunting. I don't think I could bear that.
You don't say.
I want to be able to handle a bow better.
Okay then, let's see if I can teach you anything.
That's not what I heard.
Why don't we go hunting together?
With 2, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
Yes.
All right, but I want to see 50 gold pieces. For that, you can keep the skins and sell them to Boser. That's a fair deal, isn't it?
Later.
We will go hunting, but not yet.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Now, I usually don't avoid Canthar, but in this playthrough,
I don't believe that.
I may do this playthrough with all the guilds. And because of that, I would like to show all of the choices and consequences regarding Canthar. So that's the only reason why I'm avoiding him for now.
He can't keep anything to himself.
That's not what
Because when I finish doing everything what I want to do, I'm gonna make a hard save before choosing a faction, and then I'm gonna replay all factions from that save. I'm not gonna replay the whole beginning of the game and redo everything, because I don't have to.
Hey,
welcome, stranger. My name is Baltra. Have you come to stock up on food? I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. I don't have much in stock right now, but I'll be getting a new delivery soon.
These are bad times.
Have you got a job for me?
No, I already have an errand boy. Try the other merchants.
Don't tell me that.
Show me your wares.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Show me your wares.
Who says things like that?
This guy has some very strong spells, like Rain of Fire.
These are bad times.
That's not what my husband thinks.
I'll buy that later.
That's not what my husband thinks.
He simply talks too much.
That's an open secret.
Innos be with you, stranger. If you're looking for a good selection for the traveler, then you're in the right place. But I'm warning you, if you're planning on helping yourself without paying, I'll call the city guard.
Just a moment. Do I look like a thief?
Bah! You won't be the first one to make off with my things today.
That's an open secret.
Before I continue that, I'm gonna go this way.
How's your duty?
Oh, these boys swing their swords like farmers. But when I'm done with them, every single one of them will be a tough, hard bastard.
Can you also train me in sword fighting?
Lord Andre has ordered that we train everyone who is in a position to defend the city. But that's only true for combat training. All other kinds of training are reserved for the militia. Can you at least halfway handle a weapon?
I think so.
All right, you can start when you're ready.
Let's begin with the training. Where should I start, with one-handed or two-handed weapons?
That's entirely up to you. If you specialize in only one type of weapon, you automatically learn the other at the same time. If, for instance, you're good at fighting with one-handed swords, but still a beginner with two-handed weapons, your two-handed skills will go up as well whenever you train with a one-hander. In that case, the training is more exhausting than if you train with both types of weapons. Just start and you'll soon see what I'm talking about.
And also by more exhausting, he means you will pay more in learning points.
What are the advantages of one- or two-handed weapons?
Quite simple. With a one-handed weapon, you're faster. That can be a considerable advantage in battle. Two-handed weapons are more ponderous. You have to fight with foresight, but you can do a lot more damage when you're hit.
I want to join the militia.
So? Are you a citizen of the town?
No.
Then Lord Andre won't take you. Sure, you can talk to him, but I don't think he'll make an exception for you.
What's it like with the militia?
Lord Andre is our commander now. The militia used to report to the governor. He had no idea what we do here. But Lord Andre knows what he's doing. He takes good care of the men. Everyone who starts here gets some decent armor and a good weapon. And there are bonuses if you've done a good job. He pays a bounty for every criminal captured.
Inos be with you, stranger. What brings you to me?
I've got an important message for Lord Hagen.
Well, you stand before one of his men. What is this about?
It's about a sacred artifact, the Eye of Inos.
The Eye of Inos. I have never heard of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If there truly is an artifact of this name, only the highest members of our order would know anything about it. In any case.
That's why I have to talk to Lord Hagen himself.
Lord Hagen receives only paladins, or those who are in the service to paladins. It is beneath his dignity to waste his time with members of the common folk.
I want to take up service with the paladins.
Good. I can well use every able man here, no matter what his reasons for joining us. If you place yourself in the service of the paladins, I shall help you get an audience with Lord Hagen. However, I have my orders only to accept citizens of the town into the militia. My commander is afraid that spies or saboteurs could sneak in. He wants to limit the risk this way. Therefore, you must first be a citizen of the town. Whether this rule makes sense or not is disputable, but orders are orders.
Is there a faster way to join you?
You're really serious about this, aren't you? Good. Listen, I have a problem. If you solve it for me, I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia. But the most important thing is, you must not breathe a word of it to anyone.
What's your problem?
Recently, there have been a number of thefts in the city. Thus far, we have not been able to capture anyone. The thieves are simply too skillful. The scum know their business. I'm sure that we're dealing with an organized gang. It would not amaze me if there were a thieves' guild in Corinus. Find the leaders of the gang and hunt them down. Then I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia, regardless of whether or not you are a citizen. But you must say nothing about our agreement.
Where should I start looking for the thieves?
If I knew that, I'd go there myself. I can only tell you this much. We recently turned the entire harbor district upside down and found nothing. Absolutely nothing. The people there are not very talkative, particularly if you wear the armor of a paladin. But you are an outsider. They will not distrust you so quickly. You could ask around the harbor first, but be careful. If the people there realize that you are working for the paladins, you will learn nothing.
Why are you paladins in town?
The goals of our mission are secret. I can only tell you that there is no danger for the citizens of the town. You need not worry.
What should I do once I've found one of the thieves?
If it's a matter of a lackey, a henchman, or some small fry, it would be best if you avoid a fight. You should rather come to me and report. I shall then see to it that the fellow winds up behind bars. The city guard could intervene in an open battle, and you would not have the opportunity of explaining to them what is going on. Furthermore, there is a bounty for every rotten apple you put behind bars. However, if you locate the leader's hideout, well, then you probably won't be able to avoid a fight.
About the Thieves Guild?
Yes?
I'm working on it.
Good. Keep me informed.
What should I expect with the militia?
Let me make one thing clear. To be a soldier of the militia means much more than strolling through the city in a uniform. It is a dirty and even bloody job. Once you are one of us, a great deal of work will be waiting for you. But it is worth it. Besides the pay, you might someday have the chance of becoming a holy warrior of Innos.
About the Thieves Guild?
Yes?
I'm working on it.
Good. Keep me informed.
About those missing people?
Just leave me alone with that. I've got other problems.
I'm ready to join the militia.
That may be, but you are still not a citizen of this town, and I have my orders.
I've come to collect the bounty for a criminal.
So, if there's somebody misbehaving in town, you can snitch on them. And even get some money for it.
What do you want here?
Everyone is to begin training in the skills of
I want to see the prisoners.
All the cells are empty at the moment.
What can you tell me about this area?
These are the barracks. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
What do you want? Peck isn't here, so you can't get anything. Come back later.
I want to get stronger.
Of course you do. But so long as you aren't one of us, or a paladin, I won't help you.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I'm training the boys to use a crossbow and help them become a little more dexterous.
Could you train me?
No, I only train the men in the service of the king, nobody else. But we can always use good people, so if you want to join the militia, go talk to Lord Andre.
Could you train me?
No, I only train the men in the service of the king, nobody else. But we can always use good people, so if you want to...
Don't bother me, I'm on duty. Don't bother me, I'm on...
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gallows Square.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
I have a few questions about the city. Where can I buy something around here?
The market is directly in front of the door. You should be able to find everything there. There are a few more shops and craftsmen on the other side of town. Most of them are near the other city gate. Also, there's a fishmonger in the harbor district. His shop is right at the harbor. He's easy to find.
Tell me about the town.
Corinus is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. From this moment onward, Lord Andre will take the supreme command of our militia. All the